Welcome back. You're watching Editors Roundtable. We're in conversation with Prashant Khemka, White Oak Capital. We've been discussing how the tariff uncertainty has been hurting the Indian market. But Prashant, if we have to expect a 10% kind of a return from here on, where do you make that kind of money? And also tell us a little bit about tech, because in the past you were fairly optimistic, but I think you've been bringing down your exposures.
Certainly. So within tech, you're right. Overall exposure in the portfolio has come down. But it has actually increased in certain areas like software products or mid-cap IT. It's probably held stable or up slightly, but most of the reduction has been on the large-cap names in IT. We already were less invested in large caps, but have taken down somewhat further. Now, new age tech is very much there and has increased over the prior. In fact, the so-called new age tech is now possibly larger, not possibly, is definitely larger in the portfolio than the traditional IT services name.
And large cap tech is practically nil now?
Much lower, very, very little.
Minuscule now.
Prashant, what about the QSR, or for that matter, the Zomatos and Swiggy's, the platform businesses, so to speak? You've looked at so many businesses globally as well in your GEM portfolio globally. In India, how do you value them, and are you been bullish on that space?
So see, value them the same way as anywhere else in the world and any other sector. So over the last 8 years, let's say, they've always been a sizable part of the portfolio.
Okay.
Obviously, 22 was a very difficult year for them, and some of 23 as well. And that's what I was referring to when I was saying new age tech.
Yeah.
Not all of these new age tech companies are necessarily new.
Yeah.
Some of these have been listed for a while. So collectively, these companies are a fairly significant, the way our portfolios are structured. We never take crazy thematic bets.
Sure.
But within that context, we have fairly sizable investment. As I was saying, I just realized they're a bigger component of the portfolio than the traditional IT services.
Sure.
Zomato itself is what now? 3 lakh, what's the market cap? 3 lakh?
Which one?
Zomato.
Zomato market cap is more than 3 lakh.
3 lakh crores, right?
3 lakh
So
crores.
that's
So it's expensive. But again, it's so much of growth. In fact, today, Swiggy, despite such a large loss, everybody's today on the sell side has upgraded the stock to a buy or a neutral. They've raised the target prices. So everybody feels it's a last quarter of big pain. In that sense, a lot of analysts are also bullish as well.
See, if you look at these stories may appear new and first time in India.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the story has played out across the world, country after country.
No, which is why I asked you, because in your previous role as well, you've looked at so much of emerging market companies globally.
Absolutely.
That would have been easy for you to take calls on the likes of Zomato.
Absolutely, that has certainly helped, and that is why in some ways we've had exposure to these companies long before they went public also.
Yeah.
And if you look at forget US, which this whole thing started in the late 90s. But even over the last dozen years, if you see China, Korea, other ASEAN countries, the same story has played out. A lot of these companies, start the business, and these companies are more or less copying for most part, though some elements, like you said, quick commerce is more, India is where it has started.
But this 10-minute is nowhere, right?
Yeah, so far, I think it will get copied from India, but this is...
And now the 10-minute delivery is larger than the food delivery.
Yes, in GM, depending on how you measure, yes, that is larger in terms of volumes, if you would. But it has, other areas have started, other places, they've started copying to some degree. But these companies from across, if you see, initially a lot of players start, a few gain the scale advantage. There is consolidation because a lot of players then just shut down, lack of funding, whatnot. And then one or two emerge to dominate those segments. Yes, they always face tech challenges and new...
I think in India there are 3 which are there, right? It's very clear. Zomato seems to be very strong in North.
Others can come in. There is no entry barrier now.
That emerge, what Prashant is saying, eventually we will... but there is Zomato very strong in the North, Swiggy, Bangalore, Bombay, etc.
Correct.
And I think there is Zepto. Which is also strong in the West, I think.
In most of these businesses, the threat, in my assessment, globally also we've seen, is likely to be new players using some kind of a new novelty.
Yeah.
Rather than existing large players. Like in Korea, Samsung hasn't been successful.
Correct.
For example, in dislodging the new players. So in China, it isn't some incumbent of the old economy necessarily who's been successful. They've all tried, but it's usually the new disruptor who's been able
I think delivery by drones. I think we've done.
The other interesting thing I want to ask you was, a lot of money is now shifting to the unlisted market or the pre-IPOs and, that space. You're also launching a CAT2 AIF. Yes. Late in the game, early in the game, where are we right now? Because I can sense a lot of, money chasing very few deals in the private market space now.
I won't say, see, when we started the asset management company, also in 3 years ago when we launched, I said, you are 43rd company, aren't you late? Yeah. Give the example, there are thousands of asset managers in US, right? Yes. So 20, 30 years down the line, we'll say we were the 43rd AMC, like we were one of the earliest. 50, yes. Yeah, we were top 50, earliest 50 asset management company. So that's how unlisted space, we are at very, very nascent stages right now. Yes, with benefit of hindsight, could we have started a few years earlier? Yes, but it's never late. And the opportunity set, it's so huge, you can't, not everyone can.
What excited you to get into unlisted?
See, we were already doing so. For one of our funds for last 7+ years, we have been investing in, I would say, pre-listed segment. And very strong, I would say, experience, very positive experience for us. And several of the team members had been asking for it. I think it was my hesitation that delayed it for this long. But I realize it's a very attractive opportunity for us, for investors, and hence we launched it a couple of months ago.
Okay, for me, I think the big takeaway is that your exposure to the new age platform tech companies is more than that of the IT services as a whole. And even in IT, it's the mid-cap platform companies that you like and you're attracted to. Well, curtains down?
Curtains down. We'll say thank you to Prashant.
All set for the weekend?
Thank you. Yes, looking forward.
Thank you, Prashant.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for coming. Well, with that, we thank you for watching this show. Stay tuned to CNBC TV 18 for more news and updates. Goodbye.